So, guys, we're going to ask you the all-important question. What was your cringy teenager phase? Right answers only.
Yes.
Before we go to the answers that are in the post, and I hide my email addresses, how do we think about our teenager phase? What was a cringy moment from us? If I could start, I remember getting locked in the PE changing rooms when I was in year 7 for an hour because
Mhm.
we were all getting changed, ready to, I don't know, it might have been rugby or football, and I went to the toilet. Everybody left, and while I was still in the toilet, I heard the door lock, and then I was just like, oh shit, and just sat in there for an hour. But the girls were in the gym next door with the door open, but I didn't want to go in there and say, I'd been locked in the changing rooms. I was too embarrassed. So the boys came back, and the teacher just saw me, and I was like, "Sir, you locked me in," and he was like, felt
I mean, I
so
guess that's not
guilty.
really a phase, though, is it? That's just kind of an embarrassing thing. I mean, like, you
Yeah, I
know,
suppose.
I've seen that video of that first ever YouTube video that you posted.
Oh yeah. Oh, which one was that?
You
The
know, the where you had the thing, the kind of the Jeff Hardy sleeve gloves thing.
oh, that piece of shit. Realistically, my first ever video I uploaded onto YouTube was one called Kieran Random Werewolf Mask, and it was like a 144p video of me headbanging with a werewolf mask on to Son by Ramstein. That was the
Mm,
video. Um,
right.
and, actually, I won't mention that story because it's bad. Just for the sake of the stream.
Posterity. Yeah.
Yes.
Emma saying doing graffiti of Green Day lyrics on her walls, ultimate cringe. I mean, I mean, I'm the biggest Green Day fan, and I've never or one of the biggest Green Day. Not so much now, obviously, but I'm in a Green Day tribute band, so I kind
Yeah.
of have to commit to it. But I've never done anything as drastic as writing lyrics on my walls or anything
Yeah, I
when I was
think
younger. I used
I.
to be super nerdy, basically. Like I was a big history buff,
Mm,
so I loved like World War II history, and like I used to collect like German army helmets and like insignia and webbing, um, old canteens and like sort of backpacks and harnesses and things that soldiers wear.
yeah. I
And I used
remember.
to, on occasion, I used to dress up in them as well.
Yeah. There
So
was.
that was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. I guess I used to collect the Kerrang mags and solely for the posters that were in the middle, so I could take them out and blue tack them to my wall as posters, little
Mm.
A4 posters. That was one thing. I don't know if you can call that cringy. There was one time in year 7 where we were like listening to Cradle of Filth, and one guy came in with black nail varnish and decided to paint all our nails black. And the teacher was very amused by that because it also came accompanied with my fingerless gloves. I was one of the only few kids in school that still liked playing Pokemon. So whenever the subject of Pokemon came up, it was like, "Oh, do you want to come to my house and play Pokemon? But don't tell anyone else." It was like that because the kids and the teenagers in my school were they love to poke fun at anyone who still like played stuff that people
Poke
usually
him on
played.
fun.
Yeah, Pokemon Lust,
Yeah.
like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff like that as well.
I got him.
I still have the cards and things like that, and it was
I guess
like
that was more preteens for me, is like Yu-Gi-Oh and Justice League and things. When I was an actual teenager, I was like I was struggling to find my identity. I think, as most of us probably were. And
yeah,
like I said, I was big into history, and I did listen to music, but I didn't really categorize myself as a particular type of music fan. I would just listen to anything.
it was just a
And like I
very
used to, what did I wear? You know, it was just I just throw on anything really. I wouldn't have specific band shirts or anything. I just throw on whatever looked, whatever everyone else was wearing. I was always chasing tail,
yeah.
and trying to be cool. But I was never ever ever cool. Still
I
never
yeah.
not cool. To be fair, but um,
Mm, I mean, I
so
was
we're going through the. In fact, I had a fingerless glove phase as well. It was at uni, probably when you first met me.
I
I
think
used to
I do
always wear
remember.
fingerless gloves and like beanies.
I
But
remember seeing them in your video, in your music covers.
oh
You
yeah,
wearing fingerless
but yeah,
gloves.
like you know, I still have a leather jacket as well from my uni days,
I've just got
which I'd
denim
still
jackets
wear,
though.
you know.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a hoodie guy now, I would say.
Ah, that's
But
fair.
I always have been a hoodie guy, really.
Mm.
So in terms of style, I don't know. In terms of stuff I did, I don't know. It's mainly I wasn't even really into. There's a brief period in the mid 2000s where I kind of dipped out of football a bit, and
Yeah.
I was too busy like watching like World War II movies and playing Call of Duty and stuff. I was obsessed with like World War II history,
Yeah.
you know, which is something a lot of people might not know, you know. And I wasn't into music at all, really, apart from Green Day and Gorillaz, I guess, and
Yeah. I mean,
Oasis.
I think
Those are always the consistent ones.
I was just that kid who was sort of misunderstood in that I didn't really have a good grasp on social cues. So if I was messing around with people, then I'd end up taking it a bit too far. Not as far as killing someone or injuring someone, luckily. But I was just like, say, like for example, there was one time where we were playing rugby in my friend's street, and this guy went over to get the ball that landed in someone's bush, and I pushed him, and he landed into the bush, but the twigs were a bit sharp, and I thought it was gonna get a laugh, but then him and everyone else were annoyed that I did that. I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry.
um,
I
yeah,
but
mate, I was like terrible with. So I still am a bit awkward when it comes to social cues and things. And I would always say the wrong thing at school. You
mm,
know, if someone was antagonizing me and whatever, I would always like make it worse by what I said. You know,
yeah, I mean,
so I
nowadays,
was under a bit of duress really when I was
yeah.
at other school for that reason. You know,
Nowadays, I just have an automatic thing in my head that says, "Well, imagine if someone did that to me. So if someone pushed me in a bush, would I find it
exactly.
funny?
Do
No,
unto others as you would have do
I
yourself. You
I
know,
would be
like that. That's something I live by. I feel at this
yeah.
stage.
But
Anyway,
anyway,
so we have Tim. Just reading through some of the comments. Tim was playing Neopets for too long. What's Neopets? Is that like a kind of
that's like Tamagotchi sort of thing.
Tamagotchi type thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had one of those. No. I think that's more my sister's thing. Uh, one thing springs to mind. Laura says, when I changed my style a bit and got this awful jacket from Blue Banana, loved it, but now I look back and think, what was
I
I
love Blue
doing?
Banana. That's where I got actually. Oh no, it's not here. But I got a Game of Thrones notebook somewhere that I got from Blue Banana. It's like my favorite notebook ever because it just
Yeah.
looks like it's old Middle Ages sort of
Hmm.
notebook.
Oh, Greg! I think Greg wins here. Writing all the lyrics to "Standing in the Rain" by Billy Talent on the back cover of my electronics exercise book. I love Billy Talent. That's
I
brilliant.
did
That.
actually draw like a Pokedex in one of my notebooks, and
Mm.
then you know how like GAY was like just meant stupid back in the day.
Oh, of
Or
course, yeah.
um they they took my two of my friends took my notebook and started like drawing their own Pokemon in it. Like one was called Hippie Van, and it was just a hippie van with eyes on it.
Yeah. I
Um
take it you used to draw the S, the giant S in your notebook as well.
no, I didn't. I didn't understand it. I was just like I thought it meant Slipknot. That's how out of the loop I was.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I walk past my school occasionally. I'm kind of getting, I'm digressing slightly, but I walked past my school the other day, and I do think to myself sometimes, I wonder if the kids in that school still like watch VHS tapes of like things,
oh,
or
no,
do they have they moved on to like iPads and laptops and things now?
I would say so. Like, especially with like how lockdown has happened and the iPads have become more of a thing in Zoom calls to teach
Mhm.
students, and it's become one of those things now that is more of the norm.
Mm.
But back in like I remember when I was in school, and well, when we were in school because we're relatively. I think you're just slightly older than me, aren't you? You're a
I'm
year
slightly
older.
older than you, I think.
Year
Yeah.
older. Yeah, I think. What was I gonna say? Like, I mean, I had a flip phone, like a Sony Ericsson Walkman phone.
Mate,
Moved to
I had a
Slapshot.
Nokia. I had like a small Nokia bog standard brick phone,
Yeah, and by the
that
time I
had
just
Snake on it and nothing else.
yeah, and by the time I just got into uni, that was when the Samsung Galaxy
Yeah.
S3 was out. And I think that was the iPhone 3. That was or the iPhone 5 or something like that. Was the time that came out.
Yeah.
So how and now
Definitely,
it's
the
like
more recent you're born, the more privileged you are with technology. You know, I was using Windows bloody Movie Maker to make YouTube videos back in the
the days of
mid
Sony
two
Vegas.
thousands.
The days of Sony Vegas, and then when my uni degree required not After Effects, Premiere Pro, I switched to that, and then Premiere Pro kept crashing on me, and now I use DaVinci Resolve. So happy
Oh mate,
days.
I had nothing like. I was using Audacity to make riffs and things.
Yeah, I used to use Audacity, but then I was very much an audiophile, and I could see that the maximum bit depth that Audacity could export was 16, and I was recording like 24. So it just wasn't enough. So that's why I wanted to like use Adobe Audition or Pro Tools or something along those lines.
Sorry, just catching up on some more comments before we get into this Reddit thing, because we have digressed slightly.
It is a very interesting subject, I'll say that.
It is a very interesting subject, and we could go on and on. We could dedicate a whole segment next episode to this if you want. Drawing dicks on everything, well, standard, Emma. David says he grew up in the height of nu metal and brought a red hat to be like Fred Durst. That's amazing.
Interesting.
I mean, what you weren't like? Did you do it all for the nookie, David? Is that what it was?
Way.
So Jordan, Panini have just very tempted to do it, but you're not 5 years old. Yeah, I collected football stickers, Panini stickers as well. Actually,
Yeah.
Come to think of it,
because it was match attacks.
that was when I was that was when I was like really young.
Yeah, match attacks. My cousins used to collect, but then I
Beyblades.
Beyblades, yes.
We're seriously digressing here. I want to get through this, but we'll get into all of those. Used to wear a red tie over a white vest, thinking I was Avril Lavigne. That's amazing, Emma. Been both a nerd and a punk since you were about 12, Roddy. What's this phase you speak of? Yeah, ain't that the truth? You used to have fingerless gloves as well, or well, I mean, I still do, but they always, I can't find them. It's usually when I go to festivals, you know. I take them. Killing for rattles. Used to get bullied. Oh, having short hair and looking like a boy. Guess what? Your hair got shorter with every trip to the salon. Well, that's not on, Steph. Really,
shit,
you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I was like I said, I experienced a lot of duress from other people when I was in school as well. You know,
people remember
with all the cliques and everything.
I will say this: people remembered for years on that I shit myself when I was 7 in school in lunchtime.
You see, that's one of those things that like everyone stays with you.
I'll admit that because I'm not ashamed of it. You know, it happened, and it was because
kids are cruel. Kids are very, very.
Some
cruel,
other boy picked me up while a turtle head was poking out and started spanking me. But for whatever reason, I have no clue. But then, because I went to the toilet, they went, he pooed himself, and then I admitted it, which I shouldn't have done.
Yeah, no, that never admits of that. Let's see. David's school still used to use reel-to-reel film. Wow, that's. I think that's an American thing, really, isn't it? You know, we had overhead projectors and stuff, and you know, clear slides. That was our trip. Let's see. Yes to Beyblades.
Oh, yes.
And Emma is wearing fingerless gloves now. All right, well, that's a nice way to wrap it up. So let's get into the Reddit comments, see what everyone else says.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to fake an English accent, not a particular one, just what a 14-year-old from the US South thought people from England sounded like. I must.
So I say, old chap, it's this sort of thing, isn't it?
Got
my
the
word.
butter on that spoon for me, please.
How dare you?
Scone or spoon? Because I can tell you there is only one.
Cup of tea and crumpets and
bad teeth, palaver lava.
Fish and chips and double-decker buses.
I love offending myself.
Yeah.
What else we got? A straight edge scene kid. Bloody hell! So
that's fucking insufferable.
That is the holy trinity. I did have a bit of a vegan phase. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Did you?
Yeah. And then one day I ate ham. I was like, ugh, fuck it. I went back on my word.
Were you ever a scene kid though? Did you have like the fringe?
I was never a scene kid. I was more of a like now we call them metalheads, but at the time I was a mosher.
Mosher, yeah.
Yeah,
Grebo.
I did straighten my hair and mosh with it. And
Everyone could like if you had a Nirvana t-shirt in my school, everyone would call you a Grebo.
a grebo.
I love that. I love that. That was a phrase, you know.
Reading Jean-Paul Sartre's "Being and Nothingness" on the bus to school in the hopes that a girl would be impressed and strike up a conversation with me.
I love that.
Just be like,
reading. I was like, I similarly, I kind of, I did genuinely get a kick out of reading some of Shakespeare plays, but I think it was always in the hope that I would make me look a bit smarter than I actually am. You know.
I would think you'd have to be reading a book like The Notebook or something. The script for it. Had a girlfriend who moved to Florida. What? Oh, as in he made up a story.
Yeah.
I see. A fake
Of
girlfriend.
course. I think we've all done that, haven't we?
Yeah, I've never had an imaginary friend. I think I'm one of the only kids who's never had one. I don't know if anyone else in the chat can vouch, but I just never saw the need for it because I just annoy my sister instead. I used to say "you mean" a lot. What did I have?
You mean?
I did.
What was my colloquialism when I was at school? I don't know. Like
people used to make fun of the fact.
I used to have a different laugh at school.
People used to make.
I used to laugh through gritted teeth when I was a teenager a lot.
Like,
whereas now I just don't care. I just laugh like kind of ha ha ha.
Yeah, I think people would used to if people were like watching Fairly Odd Parents or some other cartoon in school, they'd be like, "Oh, I like that part when," or that was a great part when, blah blah blah. But I would say it in a more formal way. Do you remember that part when? And people found that funny for some reason.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you remember?
No, what I used to do was I used to get things like that wrong. I would like sort of, do you remember from this thing where that happened? You know, just try and fit in, and they go, "What?" I've seen that. That didn't happen because I used to to try and fit in. I used to like, it was like, oh, I saw, Die Hard the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, I like the part, and I would just quote something from the trailer of it, you know, to try and make myself look cool because I was like one of these goody two shoes kids that always stuck to the rules and never watched. Like I didn't drink, before I got to uni, for example.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
So
went through a whole "girls don't like me as a nice guy, so I'll just be an asshole" phase. Shocker, girls still didn't like me. You'd be surprised that people still do that in their 20s and 30s.
Totally.
There's a whole subreddit dedicated to it.
Oh God, let's not get into that, shall we? I think you've done enough videos based on that, right?
I actually haven't done a reading on nice guys yet. Or I should do one on nice guys.
You should do,
because they go hand in hand.
You wore I like this one. You wore 2 watches on one hand because a character did it in High School Musical.
Never copy anything off the Disney Channel.
That's fantastic.
Roxy like a puma. That's all I can remember from the Disney Channel. Hannah Montana. My hair was to my ass, and I wore my grandfather's army coat constantly. I thought I looked badass, but I really just looked like a crazy loner.
To be fair, our mutual friend Dan still wears army coats and things.
I remember
like long ones.
Speaking of like clothes, I remember.
And he's 25, 26 or something.
I remember, there were some girls in school who like wore their shirts like down just below their belly button, and the history teacher pointed out someone's pants line at some point because it said "I love boys' pants." And that was quite a common phrase to apparently, according to Katie. So I didn't know that, but it was just funny that was
baggy
pointed
jeans
out in the whole class. Baggy jeans. Oh yeah, because now I like prefer the skin tight ones.
And chain. Did you ever have a chain on your jeans?
Attached to my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing. I met the band 18 Visions.
Here we go. Classic
My
one.
Chemical Romance. Oh yeah.
My Chemical Romance emo, straightened hair, black eyeliner, vampire fangs, white makeup, entire wardrobe from Hot Topic with the iconic black skinny jeans and band tees.
Really, a character from
That is a phase you some people just cannot unattach themselves to.
Yeah, because like when I went into sixth form, and then there was people in the years below me. It was not My Chemical Romance anymore. It was Asking Alexandria. It became that.
Became that.
I became mute for almost a whole year and only communicated by notepad. That is
That's
some
like
commitment.
a Little Miss
I was
Sunshine,
gonna
isn't it?
say, yeah. Hopefully, this person didn't have a breakdown where they just like started talking.
Yeah.
That was quite a sad scene, though, wasn't it? Yeah. The I'm not like other girls girl. There's another
Yeah.
subreddit dedicated to that as well.
Oh God. Right.
Wore a flat cap and refused to shave my scruff. Eventually had a shameful dad status goatee by senior year.
Oh my God.
That must have been some
I
hell
can
of a time
relate
of
to
life.
that. At uni, beginning of uni, and kind of for a bit afterwards as well, I tried a goatee look, a la Tyler Durden Fight Club
Ah, nice.
and fingerless gloves. It just did. I look back on photos of that and I just go, "What the hell was I thinking there?"
Yeah. Mum, no one understands me, neither do you. Metal is the greatest genre, and like any genre of music, it's real music. I
But
mean,
where's the lie though? Like,
I
that's
was just
not a
about to say
phase. That's
that's
the
not
truth.
that's the truth. The only false prophets are the ones who went out of that phase.
Yeah.
No, I respect everybody's music
I will
tastes.
wait until they invent a color darker than black. Yeah,
Society
like he's
bad.
pointed out, Vanta Black is probably what you need.
Yeah, I just
Society bad. Yeah.
I just went through an awkward phase from 12 to 29.
There you go. I'm still going through that phase.
Yeah, I
We've
think
only
we
got
all
one
are.
year left.
No thanks to 2020. Tumblr in 2014. Okay, we're getting into the Tumblr side of things.
Oh dear.
As a
Here we go.
16-year-old was brutal. I blasted Lana Del Rey's Born to Die album as I walked my family's Australian Shepherd in our suburban neighborhood, thinking I was extremely mysterious and, of course, the main character. I'm the main
Yeah,
character in this story
the
called
main
Earth.
character. The whole main character thing. That hits with it.
Mm.
I never thought I was like that, to be fair, but
I used to, I used to like imagine myself in like an anime like Bleach or something, and just like invent my own story arc in my head. I was that kind of kid as well. But it's only now
hmm.
that I've admitted that. I've always kept that as a little bit of a secret.
Well, it's like
Before that, it
we all
was
have kind of weird pseudo, um, kind of closed narratives in our heads, at some stage or another.
yeah. I mean, before that, it was going Super Saiyan, but that was too gimmicky. So
Right.
yeah. I think we've covered it really. So
Um,
that's all great.
yeah. That was a good start. I feel like that's got potential that we could do that again for sure.
Absolutely.